Press play. Where's the magic finger? Pressing down. Yeah.
The Wrestling Club with Darren and Brett. We've got a show that you'll never forget.
Greetings, Grapple fans, and welcome to WFMU's Wrestling Club, the only space that's safe for all wrestling fans, whether you're casual, lapsed, obsessed, or ashamed. My name's Darren. I'm broadcasting in the lovely Jersey City, New Jersey, across the river from New York City, and I'm joined across the country by the Red Rooster to my tailor-made man, Mr. Brett Davis.
I've been trying to do the Mr. Perfect pencil flip thing, and I never remember to grab the pencil.
Yeah,
that's not
very
that impressive anyway.
That's more like the tailor-made man, I think. He was.
Yeah.
Was he? Well, no, he was a ripoff of the $1 Million Man, not Mr. Perfect. He was like Mr. Adequate.
I'd say he's the better one.
Well,
the superior heel.
I know, but I called you the Red Rooster. Another subtle dig. Another week. Another subtle dig.
I see.
But,
I see.
know,
I thought I found him to be an inspirational underdog.
Oh, the tailor-made man. I mean, he had the suits. He had the look. You know.
I mean, we're gonna talk a lot about inspirational underdogs this week. First, if you like the show or you're new to the show, please subscribe, leave a review, follow us on Wrestling Club WFMU. That's the best way to support us. We want to thank WFMU and Steve DiCienna for the theme song, and Lanny Poffo for those beautiful, deep, haunting vocals at the beginning.
And of course, we have to thank the man upstairs for making it all possible, Isaiah, our producer. And also, if you want to join the club this week, you can give us a call at 732-200-CLUB. We're taking calls all night.
But I'm not the only one here in Los Angeles, California, because we have a very special guest. Among other things, the writer of the Encyclopedia of Women's Wrestling, also a contributor to Pace, to AV Club, and all sorts of other websites. Welcome, LaToya Ferguson. Welcome to the Wrestling Club.
Hello, boys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
You are the newest inductee into the
cool.
Wrestling Club.
I love being in clubs. I love like alienating people and just like making them outsiders while I'm an insider. So
that's why we had to start our own club.
Yeah.
So we can keep some people out.
We should get blazers or like satin jackets for every guest.
Oh, that'd be good.
I love a satin jacket.
Yeah. I mean, we're already running the show at a deficit, so.
Oh yeah, we're in the hole. So
might as well lean into it. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. You literally wrote the book on women's wrestling, and you literally wrote the article on Mr. Mayor this week. So
yes.
you run the gamut.
From wrestling to Mr. Mayor.
Mm-hmm. What got you into the world of wrestling? What was your first exposure?
I was kind of, raised on pro wrestling. I don't remember, a time as a kid not watching wrestling. I grew up in like the Attitude Era. So I just always remember The Rock and Stone Cold and Triple H and all of them being around always. And I just like do little wrestling moves on my little brother on the couch while we were watching the show with our parents. So yeah, it was one of those things where I always say I've been watching wrestling since I was in the womb, because I don't really remember a time as a kid when I wasn't watching it,
I've said the exact same phrase before.
But also, Darren, you were literally
I was what they call crowning during an episode of Primetime Wrestling in 1985, and Mom was like, "We gotta go. We're having a baby," and Dad said, "After this match." So,
Well, speaking of the Attitude Era, the top story this week, we're going to do a little bit of news. The return of Gilberg.
Big news this week.
I'm such a big fan of Gilberg. He appeared on Very Bad Raw. What was a pretty bad segment. But as far as just background character work, I complimented Gokigen Death just for staying in this weird character that she does over in Stardom. And I think Gilberg is very similar too. Like any scene where he was not on camera, he was still doing a full performance in the background.
He's like, honestly, he's almost like a bushwhacker at this point. Like he's
Yeah.
less a Goldberg and more of a Luke.
And I grew up, loving Jose Lothario circa '96 when he was
You were
at
a
a
big
few
fan.
matches.
Yeah, that was very important for you.
So anytime I see an old man in full wrestling gear, I'm very excited. LaToya, any thoughts on Gilberg?
Well, I mean, first of all, you see an old man in wrestling gear often the way WWE works,
This is
really.
true.
This is constantly happening.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's what we're about to get with Goldberg again. So I've always appreciated Gilberg because I've never liked Goldberg. Again, growing up with wrestling, we were a WWF household.
Hell yeah.
I never really watched WCW much, except for just like episodes of Thunder sometimes when it was just me and my dad, and my mom was at work. But so I just have like a lot of Disco Inferno memories, really.
Oh,
And
I'm so
one
sorry.
needs that. Yeah, right. So anything just to knock Goldberg down a peg or two, I love always.
Darren, I don't know if we talked about this last week, but you suggested a dream match, and I'm all for it. Do you want to explain your?
I don't remember the dream match. You gotta refresh my memory.
So Goldberg often brings his shirtless, pudgy son Gage.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
To the ring to celebrate with him.
So right, they bring he brings out Gage, and I think in the last couple of weeks we've been talking a lot about all in wrestling. Everybody's been talking about wrestling children because of the ascension of -1 being like the star of Dynamite 2 of the last 3 weeks. And what a match. If you could do that the AEW WWE crossover, -1 versus Gage, all the marbles,
We could throw like the Warriors kids in there.
Oh,
Bailey's friend Izzy.
Izzy is an adult now.
Not in my eyes.
It all ends when like Shane's kids show up with kendo sticks.
Oh God,
yeah,
they're gonna make it all about
yeah,
themselves.
Yeah, no way.
Shane's terrible kids show up and just attack everyone.
-1 is fired.
If you think the
Not
McMahon's in WWE has been bad, just imagine when there's like 6 like Donald Trump Juniors, like 20-year-old coked up monsters taking over Raw every week.
Oh,
it's bad enough we have Rey Mysterio's like kid who has no personality whatsoever, and he is the reason the Performance Center exists, yet he's still on TV every week.
I like he's developing. He's showing up.
He should be developing the Performance Center because there's no house shows now, which is what he would need usually. But since there's none of that, he's just on live national TV without a personality. And you know what? If I'm being mean, my mother is even meaner when it comes to Dominic Mysterio. She's like, why is this blank child on my TV?
Can we get your mother on the line?
Yeah, have her call.
I
want to hear her
I
hot
could get
take.
him 2 doors down from me. I could get her here right now.
Wow.
Honestly, we'll throw out the rest of the show if just an hour of your mom complaining about Dominic.
This is a swerve.
Some hot takes from, wrestling hot takes from my mom. Dominic Mysterio, very boring. She already didn't like Flip Gordon because she thinks he's like the slowest high flyer in the world. But then when I told her that he's an anti-masker, she's like, oh, so he's dumb and bad at wrestling?
Yeah, Darren, does your mom have any hot wrestling takes?
No, she's never liked it. Dad liked it.
Yeah.
My mom didn't like it, so it was just me and Dad would watch it. And he doesn't really like it anymore. He thinks it's not like real wrestling, like back when Bruno was there and Arnold Skoland and Bob Backlund, his favorites. Haystacks Calhoun.
My mom's only commented on wrestling once, and that she found Tom Brady to be hunky.
Well, she's not wrong.
Speaking of old men complaining about modern day wrestling, our old pal Mark C continues to exist post retirement. Mark C, the former Undertaker, appeared on Joe Rogan this week to complain.
Brett, did you listen?
I did not.
Me neither. Well, we're really good at the news.
Well, if I just click on that video, I'm gonna get Joe Rogan recommendations for like a year.
That's true. Yeah.
so out of my way to like not even subscribe, but never subscribe. It's just like they would always be the recommended videos because I guess watching an Effie match makes me a combat sports fan.
I made the mistake of watching one Jake Roberts impression of the Macho Man, and the next thing I know, I'm getting like, bone juice recommendations, whatever, MMA training videos. And I don't like it. It's not good. But I didn't watch it. I'm sure I know what they talked about.
What?
Probably talked about, how probably talked about fighting. I'd say it's something they probably like. Maybe I know Undertaker doesn't seem like he's into like hallucinogens very much. Doesn't seem to be his kind
How
of
did
thing.
Michelle could get him into it though?
That's true. Yeah. A little ayahuasca ceremony. I can see it happening.
Oh,
But
yeah,
no, I
guys.
don't think so. They're way too Christian and way too into cops.
That's another
Yeah.
kid that's going to be in the battle royal.
Oh boy, did you guys see like the one big new big thing that came out of it?
I mean, that he was complaining.
Yeah, that he was complaining about the kids these days, the wrestling being too soft.
Yeah,
To which I say, well, yeah, they had to be soft wrestling you with your broken down hip, old man.
Yeah, he's
Xavier
bag of
Woods
sticks.
had a great comeback saying having video games in the locker room is way healthier than having redacted.
I mean, that's definitely something Joe Rogan and Mark C are going to talk about is, men being soft,
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Well, it's nice to know that I'll never have to see him wrestle again.
Well, let's talk about women.
I say that. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
This way we had two announced women's tournaments, both in NXT and AEW. Joining the men's Dusty Classic is a women's Dusty Classic with new recruits Gigi Dolan, Cora Jade, and Zoe Stark, formerly known as Priscilla Kelly, Elena Black, and Lacey Ryan. And then this week, we also had on AEW an announcement of the World Championship Eliminator Tournament, which means that they might be bringing in people from Japan or filming matches in Japan, which sparks my interest. Definitely. We might have my personal favorite, Maki Ito, who is with DDT through TJPW. And
TJ Perkins Wrestling?
Yeah, TJ Perkins. Yeah.
TJ Perkins whining.
Yeah, I heard you say GJP. I got a little nervous. Like, keep him away from her. Because she will say anything.
I should have said Tokyo Joshi Pro, but TJPW came out, and I did get noticeably flummoxed by it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's good that they're doing a tournament, though. I think that's smart. That's good. The women's division AEW, it needs some focus.
Yeah. And they started a feud with Red Velvet.
It does, but I question. Yeah, because I do question though. Is it just a tournament? It's like a band-aid to give like the women something to do, or like will there be actual stories to come out of it? Because there was another tournament before, but still, give them stories.
Yeah, no, focus and stories, absolutely. I do love a tournament though.
Also on AEW, we had a surprise appearance from Sammy Hagar to shout out the team of
the Red Rocker.
The Red Rocker.
Yeah, I did not know that was his name. Did you know that?
I'm sure Jericho was like,
I did know that.
Make sure his name's the Red Rocker. That's his nickname.
Tony Schiavone was real into him. I see Tony's definitely a Van Halen fan.
He's got that earring.
He does. He's rock and roll. The way it used to be.
But yeah, they have a team of Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager, aka Sammy Hager. And I posted on our Instagram, Wrestling Club WFMU. We've got Gigi Dolan, Priscilla Kelly, Sadly no longer with Darby Allin, but it could have been Gigi Allen, and then we could have had an inset promo from him. Unfortunately, it's passed on, but in another
rest in
universe,
peace.
maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, and wrapping up the news, this Tuesday we got the Superstar Spectacle, which features a lot of the WWE's Indian and Indian American talent. As a huge fan of Ring Ka King, TNA's weird offshoot in India.
You're like you could write the encyclopedia on it.
Yeah,
You're a Ring Ka King person.
Yeah,
big time. I love Barud. I love Deadly Donda. Bahabali Shira, and not so much. The Bollywood boys, I still get excited when I see them come out on the shows I don't watch. So I'm looking forward to this. They got a lot of interesting talent that they've been sitting on, and maybe they'll
what was
be
the one?
developed
Wasn't there
characters.
one that's like there's like two great Kalis now?
Yeah, there's two great Kalis,
Yes.
two big weird monsters.
Yes. He's so weird and so big. Oh, I'll never forget you and I maybe 15 years ago or 12 years ago or something, awkwardly hanging out in the parking lot to look at the wrestlers walk to their cars and seeing Great Khali get in the car with Natty, Beth, Alicia. It was like he traveled with the women.
He's the Punjabi playboy. What do you?
Living the gimmick.
He was.
Honestly, that's the thing. If Madison Square Garden was perfect for it, but Prudential Center in Newark was also pretty great for it to watch wrestlers leave. I will always do it. I will always at a WWE show, always wait around. Ever since Molly Holly waved at me in front of the Continental Airlines Arena.
That's adorable.
Yeah. There's weird things. There was one time we saw rest in peace now, Xavier, just kind of hanging around outside of MSG, looking to get noticed in a full suit.
Yeah.
Weird. Teddy Long coming out of the wrong door. Just a lot. You get a lot of weird insight into people.
Yeah.
I would love going to Ring of Honor shows in Vegas because you would just go to a restaurant or whatever at the casino right after, and a bunch of wrestlers would be there. So just chilling. Oh hey, it's Kazarian and Daniels. My mom would hello, because my mom is that's the kind of person she is.
Cool.
That's great.
SCU fan. Yeah, I'm looking forward. We did WrestleMania in New York, and it's not quite the same as a New Orleans where you're walking around and seeing these guys. So definitely looking forward to the return of crowds. WrestleMania is coming to LA.
Yeah.
Year.
That's the reason you moved there.
That's why. Yeah.
The long con. Did you go to WrestleMania for the last New York, New Jersey one, and were you stranded with the rest of us?
Darren did.
I went, but I had a car, so
I'm
okay. Yeah, I live here, but no, that was the greatest week of my life. There was so much wrestling, literally 5 minutes from my house. Uh-oh, did we lose Brett? No, you're back.
He just seemed to change his camera angle.
He doesn't know. It's okay. He's figuring it out. But yeah, I did not get stranded, but I did get caught under the giant spotlight.
Oof, you were a spotlight person.
Blinded for that. The match I was there to see, AJ Styles, Randy Orton. It's fine. I don't know if I'll. Well, I'll go to WrestleMania again. It looks like Brett's having some technical difficulties. Brett, did you lose your microphone there, or did your thing die? Your computer died, didn't it? I bet it did. Just talking to your phone. Oh no, you're using your webcam. Just use the webcam. Can he not hear us? He can't hear us.
I don't think he can.
All right, we're just gonna have to message him. That's fine. We'll figure this out. Stand by, Wrestling Club. We're just gonna message Brett. Your video is on.
Okay.
We can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I think it was a connection problem, but I'm back.
What did I miss? Your image is frozen.
Your image is frozen.
Oh,
I think you just need to change your video over. It's all right. Hey, we're alive. Uh-oh.
It's always something.
Well, we tried, Brett. Let's see. You get it fixed. There you go. Now at least you got some video. There you go. Good job. Welcome back.
I'm glad to be here. Did I miss any?
No, we were just reminiscing about the giant spotlight in our eyes at the 9-hour WrestleMania that we went to.
I didn't have to deal with the spotlight. I was very lucky on that part. But yeah, that was my first time going to WrestleMania, so I was really happy, to see the women main event and everything, and to boo the shit out of Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Oh my god,
that was so much fun. Just me and my friends, moving up a few seats just to boo them so loudly during the pre-show, and as Scarlett backstage.
I smoked weed before the Batista and Triple H match, so that the end of the show was real long for me. It was just a long night, a long day, and now it's going to be 2 days.
I thought you were going to say I smoked weed with Michael Che. I was like, what?
Oh yeah, it's
not out of the realm of possibility.
Well, no. Yeah, the next WrestleMania is going to be 2 nights, but then it said for LA that's back to 1 night. Actually, right? Because I think that's something good. Expect things to be back to normal, So,
I'm all for the 1 night. I'm a staunch one nighter. I think
it's Kevin, like really 1 day.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like for the shorter show, but I don't think anyone's done the 2. Well, I thought the Wrestle Kingdom last year with 2 nights was good, was fine. It didn't make a difference to me. This year was a little tougher, but they don't have the talent they had.
You got 2 battle royals on the show. You could fit everybody in there that's not in a key match. And then truly last WrestleMania had Liv Morgan versus Natalya as part of the show.
I guess if you just keep it at 1 night, but the thing is, if you keep it at 1 night, right, it keeps like the excess stuff off, but you're going to get a 35-minute Triple H match. You think they're going to do Triple H and Randy Orton at WrestleMania this year? Cinematic?
I mean, I take it if it's cinematic. Because I just feel like Randy would set him on fire because that's what Randy likes to do. So
he's now the Destroyer. I'm very happy to see the Destroyer make an appearance this week on Raw. This is Destroyer mask, right? Oh, did we lose Brett again? Oh my gosh.
Brett seems upset and I realized he was frozen.
Yeah, he was upset with us. He doesn't like the Destroyer.
Yeah. All right.
You all right, Brett? You back?
I think I'm back. Yeah.
All right. You all right this time? Good.
I hope so.
Okay.
Certainly hope so. At least nobody's. Last week we were supposed to have Bardia Salimi on, and his apartment truly caught on fire the second we started recording.
So at least there's no fire.
Yeah.
No open flames.
Also worth noting, I guess, for historical context, we do have a new president.
We have a new president. Oh, we do. You're right.
We do.
I know we started out with Gilberg, but there is a collective weight that has been lifted on the country. So if you're listening to this, if you're binging these after the fact, you might hear more of a spring in our step.
So a little news update. Gilberg's back. Trump is gone.
Yeah. Although last week we booked his return to WWE. I'm saying I think it might happen.
When you posted a graphic on our Instagram that I opened this morning and saw that and said no. No. This can't be real.
Yeah, I did go into the WWE.com source page and I changed the title of an article. And yeah, a lot of just comments like no.
Yeah, people very just sad, disillusioned by it.
Well,
great.
I think it's time we jump into the big show and tell.
And tell. It's the only reason we do it, Brett.
I wasn't ready for it.
Well, big show. Michael Hayes comes on when he wants to come on.
That's true. Yeah. So he gets in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Well, we do this segment every now and then. It's called the Big Show and Tell, and it's just a show and tell. And LaToya, I think we're going to start with you because you have a big show and tell, and I'm very excited to talk about this because I watched it today, and I kind of knew something like this was going on, but I was avoiding it. But why don't you give us the historical context? And we got a clip of it.
Well, I don't know why you would avoid it first of all, but
well, it was part of the JBL and Cole show, so that title alone makes me want to avoid it.
See, that's where they got you, because JBL and Cole show was secretly good, but they trick you because it's the JBL and Cole show. Why would that ever be good? But my big show and tell was the historical documentary of Daniel Bryan versus the Bear from September 2016. Daniel Bryan, he was forced to retire, as we all know. It was very upsetting, but you know what? He was planning to come back, and he was planning to come back big. And to do so, he was going to challenge a bear to the death. And you know what happens when you challenge a bear to the death? They cancel the JBL and Cole show because this is too weird of a story. We're not going to air this.
Yeah, WWE hates being weird.
Yeah, so they basically sat on this for months until they finally, I guess they just bullied Vince into letting them finally air this.
Let's look at a clip.
My husband wants to wrestle a bear.
The first encounter saw Bryan expose the bear's vulnerabilities.
Ah! Bear! Ah! Yes! You saw it! I did it! I just defeated a bear! The Dazzler rules!
That it's actually not a bear. That this is Hornswoggle.
I haven't seen one bear that looks like Hornswoggle! Let's see if you got any pride! Cause I got pride! I got human pride.
Would you fall in love with me all over again and over again?
Yeah. So that is Daniel Bryan versus the Bear. Should be noted that the way he defeated the Bear in that one part was just kicking him in the groin.
And then snapping his neck.
Oh, I missed that.
He did snap his neck. That's right. A wonderful video. I mean, I would say that might be the best WWE cinematic match of all of them.
Yeah. I love some of the details. I forgot he called himself the Dazzler for a while and had that weird
comb over kind of thing.
Like a squiggy, like cartoonish. I don't know. Like I'm sure there's an anime
really
character.
Gelled down. Yeah, it was like a squiggy situation.
Like imagine like one of Santa's elves. That's the haircut he had. A big curl in front of his head, and then he just slowly developed a southern accent.
That part was kind of weird. Wasn't expecting. He goes in and out of it.
It's a direct callback to the Terry Funk Jerry Lawler empty arena match. Like he's doing like word for word Terry Funk right there.
Perfect. Member of Wrestling Club, great. Terry Funk.
He is. Yeah, he's a member of Wrestling Club. That's right. I loved. It could have been Daniel Bryan's last match. That's something I was thinking about when I was watching it because he was retired. He had I don't think he had gotten in the oxygen chamber yet, so he's a little he's playing with the medium a little bit, which I like. He's and everybody's so committed to this dumb thing, which is always great.
Yeah, we've got Regal, we've got Brie Bella, we've got Zeb Coulter, Dutch Mantel, who probably wrestled a bear once or twice in his career.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, so the way JBL and Cole show was going, because it just started off like as just a basic show with JBL and Cole, where they're showing off all the places they go to around the world, WWE, week to week. And then it became kind of like this just meta thing for like everyone backstage to just fuck around. Like Cody and Wade Barrett and Renee and Brian. So they were all just doing all this really stupid stuff backstage. So it basically was like the proto being the elite is what it became. And so the Bryan Bear stuff kind of formed there, and they were leading up to this epic encounter versus the Bear, and then Vince pulled the plug on the show with just at a cliffhanger, basically, before he went to face the Bear.
Why does he like fun? Or why does he hate fun?
Well, he likes his kind of fun.
Yeah, exactly. From people I've talked to, it's just like he has a very specific sense of humor, and if anything else is not in that humor, he doesn't get it, and then he gets upset if basically he thinks you're just, doing something that he doesn't get, and you're like, you think your humor is better than his.
That's very healthy to have in a creative director.
Oh my god!
What a genius! It's a true genius.
Yeah, and you'd think he'd like it. It's a guy beating up a little person. That's one of Vince's
It's close.
favorite.
I think if Daniel Bryan like shit his pants, I think that would have done it. Just give him some active feces.
Maybe if Bryan didn't also die with the Bear.
He did die with the Bear. I like that. I like the ending. It was almost like a Herzog ending,
Like Strotzing. Well, yeah. And any other further thoughts on JBL? I know Bad News Barrett came from JBL and Cole show too.
Yeah, that came from there. I think Alicia Fox's like crazy stuff kind of started there too, like there and the WWE app stuff. Like there was a whole love saga with Alicia Fox stalking Tom Phillips on the WWE app.
I do remember this. Yeah. It's sort of like the MCU where it's like if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you'll get like a little more context, but none of it matters. Yeah, I love that stuff. It's a real shame that they don't do more of that.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff in pro wrestling that I just absolutely love. The little weird stuff that usually doesn't make it on the show, and if it does, like it's not for long. Like Tyler Breeze in front of Fashion Files, that somehow made it on TV, and it was really good. And then they put it on the website, and then they just killed it because I was just saying before about Vince's sense of humor.
It's amazing how if the wrestlers can just be creative in their own way, it can not be bad. Like 3 hours of television every week, that's hard to watch.
Yeah, the Fashion Files, which is the Breezango thing, they did 3 weeks of a Twin Peaks parody.
Yeah.
Like truly some of the best stuff. I feel like Matt Weir maybe I guess last week maybe had a hand in those. But and also I love Silly Dan. Just anytime Daniel Bryan gets to be a goofball, like you always just see him like almost breaking throughout the whole thing.
It's so, is there anybody who's that? He's so versatile. Earlier this week, I watched the exact opposite of this, which was Bryan Daniel. It was the American Dragon versus Low Key in like 2000. Mm-hmm. And it's incredible. Like, it's so good. Like, it doesn't feel like a match that's 20 years old at all. And he was so good at that. And then he's so good at this. He's, I do love him.
I think he did PWG promos with Paul London where
the hybrid dolphins.
Yeah, the American dolphin.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, you haven't? Where they are cutting a promo, but they're like breaking the entire time.
Yeah, and it's just him in like Wrestling Road Diaries. He's just like a silly guy. Yeah, just like one of the few pure souls in professional wrestling.
Yeah, he's just a little scamp. What was it, like the Table for Three, where I think it's him, Ryback, and is it Ziggler or something? But it's just like he would just always bust Ryback's chops, just fuck with them because Ryback's a big meathead, so it was so easy.
Yeah, those two being friends is so funny to me.
Calling him also,
he's
like
Ryback. Yeah, he's like friends with Kane.
Oh yeah, the Kane stuff is like the closest we ever got to true like goofy Dan. on TV, just like all those vignettes where they're Team Hell No and they're in
couples therapy.
Yeah. Anger management, I think it was.
Oh, that's what it was, right? Yeah.
Scorpio Sky was there too.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I have a big show and tell. Speaking of continuing our underdog theme, This is a wrestler I just learned of this week, and I'm still learning. I'm a novice to Joshi. I'm finding my favorites. Maki Ito is one. Gokigen Death is another, and now I have a third to add to my Mount Rushmore of amazing Joshi characters. I don't know if you know this person, but here she is, Lulu Pencil. If we could roll a clip of Lulu, I think you might fall in love with her too.
Lulu Pencil!
This has been a week of debuts, hasn't it, Tiara?
It has. I'm so excited for this match. I mean,
And with each rotation, the arm keeps getting torqued. Oh dear. Oh dear. Lulu just made herself dizzy. She's going to the ropes here. Oh, she's climbing.
Here she is
climbing.
trying to do the Undertaker walk on the ropes.
Up to the top rope. Wobbly legs and all, but she's there.
Grabs
look
hold
at the
of
skews
tight-
and
Look at the look of fear in Lulu's face, though. She can do it.
Yeah.
I believe in her. Oh, go
Moves
back
down
down
to
to
the
the
second
second
rope.
rope. That's better for her. Jumps. Oh, she twerked her knee.
Oh,
and her gets
Well,
hurt.
not everything works out. So she comes to the ring with a pencil, a little pencil.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
like
that's
if
good.
Mario and Luigi had a sister, that's kind of what she's dressed like.
Yeah.
You know,
She looks like
lanky.
she's really trying her best.
That's the thing. Yeah, she's like really excited, like a little too excited. The closest like WWE reference I could make is like Emma or Bailey, like early Emma when she did the weird dance, but this is like a totally different level where she's just so happy to be there.
And also scared. She's scared.
Very
She's
scared.
afraid. But also she later in the match, she uses fear to her advantage and literally just scares her opponent. She goes, "Ah!" and like the opponent like kind of runs away.
Yeah. At one point she gets stuck on a pipe. This is from Pro Wrestling Eve.
She does
which
get
is-
stuck in the pipe, right? And they do like the little American gladiators on the rings battle.
Yeah. They would film their shows in, I believe, an art gallery in London. And they shipped her over, and she was a Emi Sakura trainee. You might know her from AEW as the Freddie Mercury impersonator. Joshi's weird, but I just love Lulu Pencil, and I who knows, maybe she could be in this eliminator tournament for AEW. All my favorites. I guess
I need to like look up more Lulu Pencil.
yeah, Yuka Sakazaki too. She'd be the fourth on my Mount Rushmore of great Joshi weird gimmick talents. So yeah, the Lulu Pencil, that's my big show and tell. Darren, yeah, I don't want. I think you might have beef with the Encyclopedia of Women's Wrestling.
You know,
Uh-oh.
I know, and I know an as someone who's a big fan of both women's wrestling and encyclopedias, I know that Encyclopedia can't get everything. I know that there may be some facts or some characters left out. It happens, but where are the Glamour Girls?
Now,
The
for those
Glamour Girls, they
for
were
those that don't
originally in
know,
this.
Let's
I will
let
say.
the Glamour Girls introduce
Yeah.
themselves. Sorry.
To be with you, and it's also a greater pleasure to be here on the bottom
Oh,
line
wait.
with the Glamour
We're doing it
Girls,
2 minutes. We're doing
Lalani
it twice.
Kai and Judy
Sorry.
Martin. Lalani, say a few things.
let's play the video.
Yeah, let's
To
roll.
be with you, and it's also a greater pleasure to be here on the bottom line with the Glamour Girls, Lalani Kai and Judy Martin. Lalani, say a few things to the people out there.
Hi, Fort Lauderdale. You're in for a real treat because we're the Glamour Girls. We wear our hair in curls. We wear our dungarees way up above our knees. We wear our daddy shirts. We are the biggest flirts. And we want a guy. We simply roll our eyes. We're incredible. We're beautiful. We're unbeatable. And we're the greatest tag team in the history of the world.
I somehow believe that too. I know that they're
This is
awesome.
Luda
I know
Vachon as
that
the
they're awesome
straight
in the ring.
interviewer.
You know, I know that you also have the Mystics under contract, but you're just an advisor or something to the Glamour Girls. Can you explain to me why you manage the Mystics?
Just
And
Julie
you advise
Kavner.
the Glamour Girls? What's the distinction there, Einstein?
You see, Luna, the only thing that I'm going to say today is that I have contracts with the Mystics, and I have a letter of intention with the Glamour Girls, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's the voice of their manager, Abdullah Einstein Moses Farouk Jr.
Great. I love
the greater wrestling names. But yeah, Darren has been extolling the value, the virtues of the Glamour Girl Judy Martin for weeks. He's
absolutely
a super fan.
both of them. I mean, Leilani Kai, obviously she has the charisma, but Judy Martin has that stoicism, that we love in our wrestlers. They carried. I wouldn't want to say they carried the Jumping Bomb Angels. That would be incorrect. But they they were right there with them. They were right there with them.
I know. So are you upset that I have the Jumping Bomb Angels in the book, but not the Glamour Girls?
No, I'm not upset that you have the Jumping Bomb Angels. I'm just saying.
I mean, you do reference the Glamour Girls in the Jumping Bomb Angels section.
I saw them there, yeah. But
yeah,
I think that they're underrated. They were tough. They were, they had so they only wrestled one team for 4 years. But I don't think that means that, they wrestle in Japan. Judy Martin, I saw a match with her and Judy Grable against it was two guys. It was in like Georgia. It was like at the Omni in 1980. They were wrestling men, which I thought was pretty cool. But then you watch the clip and it's just like very misogynistic how they describe it. So I didn't want to share that really too much. But Judy, I do love me some Judy Martin.
I mean, I agree. They were originally in the book. That had more profiles originally, but with deadlines and such.
I understand. It's the publishing industry. I know.
Mm-hmm. If I were to ever get a second edition, which probably not, I would include them. But buy my book, everyone. So
the book is great. The book is great. I don't mean to criticize it. It is wonderful. I was reading it. I was reading through it today, and the one story I totally forgot about was that shoot that happened in Stardom.
Yeah, and that's how the book opens too, which is just like, well, here's what wrestling is like.
Yeah,
people.
Right. Like it's like it was What was her last name? I forget.
Yoshiko.
Right. And I didn't know that she had all the I remember it happening, but I didn't know she had all these medical problems.
Yeah, it's just a really sad story.
Yeah, she was in case if you don't know the story, she was in a match with Minoko. Was that her name?
No, here, I'm gonna open my book and look real quick.
Yoshiko, I believe.
Yoshiko.
Yoshiko.
So it was and Yoshiko was a bigger wrestler,
mm-hmm.
and Yoshiko was the white belt champion,
mm-hmm.
and Act was supposed to beat her, and she just shot on her and just started punching her in her blind eye, and really ended her career. It's just this horrible thing.
But Yasukawa has returned to the ring.
When?
November 2020.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. She returned to wrestle a match against Tae Honma in AWG, which mixes stage theater and professional wrestling. I'm just reading this. This is not knowledge I'm coming in with, but yeah, Hikaru Shida is involved with this. It is a little more of the WMAC Masters style of sports entertainment than traditional pro wrestling, but yeah, she's there. And then I believe Yoshiko also returned to Stardom.
Yoshiko didn't really get punished, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I believe she made her return at one of the recent shows
What's
over.
What's up with? I mean, I feel like there's the Yoshiko incident. There's the Sexy Star incident.
Fucking Sexy Star, Jesus.
I know. It's like, why is it in women's wrestling everybody's got to get in a real fight?
Because it only happens in women's wrestling and never in male.
I know. Well, that's true. Yeah. I mean, when's the last time it happened? The last two that I remember is Yoshiko and Sexy Star. Has there been any? I guess there was that weird Lanny Poffo shoot with. Who was that with?
That was with like Honky Tonk Man.
There was Brock.
I think that was a work
with,
shoot.
There was Brock in his match with Braun Strowman.
Oh.
Yeah. What happened there?
He basically was like telling him to slow down and like just kept punching him basically to tell him to slow down.
I see these rookies, they gotta slow down. Braun, Lulu Pencil. You just gotta slow it down.
Oh, I don't want to see Brock and Lulu though. That's very upsetting.
Yeah. So I believe Yoshiko made a return. The Stardom community was very upset. They were all kind of sitting in the ring, and she made her return, sort of like the shooter comes back type gimmick. Although I will say Gokigen Death was still in full character, throwing up the devil horns but acting scared. Again, if you missed that episode, please, I can't recommend Gokigen Death enough. Truly great. But yeah, it's a little messed up. I wouldn't want to get in the ring with somebody that's dangerous, because that's the whole point of wrestling is that you trust the person and not
wow, like what a worker, Brett. You've only been in the ring with me.
Yeah, and you know what? You were unsafe.
Yeah, I hit you. But I only hit you because you hit me.
That's not true. I've also been in the ring. I've been in the ring in Queens. I've been in the ring in Denver.
That's right. You are. Wow. You've traveled many states. 2 states.
You've made towns, honestly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I'm undefeated. So,
are you?
Throw that out there.
You did beat me. That's right. You did.
And I'm retiring undefeated. So
grizzled young vet Brett
Davis.
We'll
see. We'll see once the pandemic's over. We'll see how that retirement sticks or not.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard tell about this LA bar wrestling scene, and I've been doing that for years. So
yeah, you've wrestled in bathrooms, you've wrestled in basements, garages.
Yeah. Mainly against you.
Only me. Yeah.
I feel like you could get a match against David Arquette going.
This is, I'm not going to tip my
shooter.
I'm not going to tip my hand, but this is a project that is already in the works, and we might have an update on it next week. We'll see. But yeah, that's our big show and tell. Now I think we should jump into one of the penultimate segment of our long running segment that will end fully next week. This is the worst Royal Rumble. Now we've been doing this segment on the show for weeks and weeks. Every guest on the show picks a new entrant into the worst Royal Rumble, slightly based on the greatest Royal Rumble that was held for the Prince's Delight in Saudi Arabia. This Royal Rumble is taking place in an open air Saudi Thunderdome. So the princes are the only people that get to watch it. Nobody else. Everybody else is just on the screen. And here's who we have in the match currently. Last week we added Vern Troyer to the match. We've had very few eliminations, I'll say. Also in the ring, we've got Ira Glass, who's kind of the sort of underdog, hardcore Tommy Dreamer type of the match. He's been disemboweled, but pieced his body back together. We have MGK, Machine Gun Kelly. We have Leonardo da Vinci, who has the priceless Mona Lisa at ringside. And famed art thief Hudson Hawk is also in the ring, ready to steal it at a moment's notice. We've got Megan the Stallion, Judge Janine Pirro, who has formed a partnership with Alex Jones, who is in the ring. We've got Dobby the House Elf, who is teamed up with Vern Troyer a little bit. And we've got the ghost of Michael Alec, a non-physical form, more of a spirit. And then also being held captive by Saudi royal forces on the tarmac. We've got Del Close, Effie, and Darren's girl, the Glamour Girl, Judy Martin. So here is what we've got in the match. And now, LaToya, I turn to you. We're counting down. We've got 3, 2, 1. Who is your entrant into the worst Royal Rumble?
So I thought really, really hard about this because obviously this is very important. And I decided it has to be Bones from the television show Bones. And just to be clear to everyone, Bones is the girl, not David Boreanaz.
Okay.
Bones is Emily Deschanel, sister of Zoe Deschanel. And because I know that Ross Geller left behind, some bones. So this is useful for me.
Yes, Ross Geller, who was eliminated, left behind the bones of Lucy the Australopithecus. As somebody that's never seen bones, help us give us, because you won't be around for the rest of the match. So what is her sort of fighting style? What is her mentality? I mean, I assume she's a very intelligent person. Might be distracted by these bones at ringside.
Well, because you haven't seen Bones, I'm just going to say that Bones has the power to control Bones necromancer style. So actually, these won't distract her. This will be the ultimate aid to Dr. Temperance Brennan, a.k.a. Bones. And yeah, she's, across the spectrum, very intelligent. She can, because she doesn't really care too much about people's feelings, she can, just verbally end all of these people as well as physically with the bones she will be using, necromancer style again. So I'm excited to win now with Bones from Bones.
Yeah, I mean, if things get a little heated, if Alex Jones starts barreling down on her, is this Bones power? What would you call the bone power?
Bone power, it seems,
okay,
honestly.
Bone power. So will bone power help her if things just get a little rough and rowdy?
I mean, all people have bones, Brett.
I see.
True.
So she's low key, like she's kind of like the superhuman in this match.
She is, yes. Again,
Yeah.
you have not seen the show, so I can tell you as someone who has seen over 8 seasons of Bones, of which there are like 12 or 13 seasons of the show. That's definitely what happens on the show Bones. You don't have to research or look into it. That's how the show Bones works.
Yeah, I'm taking this as canon. What's her theme music? Is there a Bones theme?
Yeah, it's by the Crystal Method, the theme song to the television show Bones.
Cool. So there's like a cool lighting show. The Jeddah Thunderdome can do such great futuristic things. And she enters the ring. What happens? What goes down? You have until the next entrant to book this match.
I mean, so now I've decided like she has Magneto style bone powers.
Yeah.
So she's really just kind of using them. It's because you said Alex Jones decides to step to her, so she is using her Magneto bone powers to toss him out of the ring. Get out of here, Alex Jones. Sorry, Janine Pirro.
Yeah. Well, now her guy's gone. She's got a wine glass in her hand.
Yeah, she's not gonna try to tempt Bone. She's just gonna keep drinking that wine in the corner.
Yeah. Does Bones? Is it just Bones?
I mean, the character's name is Dr. Temperance Brennan, but Boreanaz calls her Bones.
Okay, cool. I've laughed about the title of this show for so many years without ever seeing it, and now that it's like an X-Men type show in my brain. Do we have any other eliminations?
Let's see, who else could get bone thrown?
We've got now Michael Alec is he does not have bones.
He's a ghost, yeah.
Yeah.
That's her gonna be a true nemesis in this match, isn't it?
Yeah, and Ira Glass also, he's been disemboweled already by Dobby.
He does have bones, just less organs.
He lost his guts, not his bones, actually.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See who's still around.
We've got Megan Thee Stallion, we've got Machine Gun Kelly, Leonardo da Vinci.
I feel like Effie would really appreciate Bones' bone power, and they might team up.
Okay. Now Effie is still being held by Saudi royal forces. So I think next week we're gonna see Effie might be excited, sort of like, fan out, seeing Bones there.
Right. But he's currently on the tarmac, and they were going to fly to Chicago to sit at a diner and talk about improv at Del Close, Effie and Judy Martin, but they're being held. So I guess next week we'll find out and Judy is going to do a Kofi spot. That's the other thing. We don't know what the Kofi spot is yet, but Judy will be doing. I don't know if that means that she's going to be on like an office chair. Maybe she's going to maybe she's going to fly the plane. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but Judy, I think Judy's really the ace in the hole in this match.
Yeah, I mean, Bones can control Bones, but can she control a plane if it's crashing towards her? I don't know. So the worst Royal Rumble rolls on. Next week is our worst Royal Rumble finale as we lead to the proper Royal Rumble. The bad one.
Bones will be a surprise entrant.
Yeah,
it would be an improvement.
Yeah, honestly, we had what's his name? Was on Raw as the fake Drew McIntyre. What's his name? David Krumholtz.
Oh.
So,
is there going to be a cinematic entrant into the Royal Rumble this year, do you think?
I mean, we already have multiple movie characters.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what cinematic.
I meant not the worst Royal Rumble.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, the mediocre one that's coming up in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And we will have Marty DeRosa and the returning Wrestling Club member Sarah Shockey joining us for that edition, and we will we'll crown a winner. So I'm excited for that. Okay.
They're great. Me too.
So LaToya, where can we find your writing? I know you're a contributor to many different websites.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter always at LaFergs, LaFergs, and from there I will of course link to my writing. I write it for the AV Club. Right now I am covering the mayor for the next few weeks. You can also occasionally find my writing on Pace Magazine, RondaRousey.com. Just again, I will tweet and you can read.
Are you exchanging emails regularly with Ronda?
Yes.
How's she doing?
She's doing
well. Yeah. Just checking.
Actually.
I know Darren's
hi.
big into the SGS.
Yeah, I watched her play video games with Adam Cole, Tyler Breeze.
Yeah, I'll say hi for both of you.
Thank you. Yeah, let her know we're thinking of her.
Yeah, we're rooting for her in the ring and out. And Darren, you've got your WFMU show coming up.
That's right, coming up this 3 a.m. baby, Saturday and a Sunday. So stay up late. You got nothing. What else are you gonna do? Saturday night, baby.
What are you playing?
I don't know. I've been obsessed with the Brazilian soul singer Tim Maia for the past 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a book that was translated into English, and I've been reading about him and the UFO cult that he joined, and his weird, just they made a biopic about him. That's he's a weird guy, it's 300 pounds, just did a lot of cocaine and smoked a lot of weed, but was very, he was in a cult that was very positive. He quit smoking weed and joined a cult. And then he was like, oh, this is dumb. And he left and started smoking weed again. But, he was I've been listening to him a lot. So I'm probably going to play a bunch of Brazilian stuff this week because I've just been doing deep dives into his catalog and the catalog of a lot of people in his universe. That first Brazilian soul scene of the origins of the Brazilian soul scene. So I think I might play that this week, or I don't know. I might just play animal sounds for 3 hours. You're just gonna have to tune in and check it out.
Yeah. Thanks to WFMU for helping us put this on. I continue to be an unproductive slob, so I'm gonna pass my plug over to this zine I found out about that has so many of our friends in it. So many members of the wrestling club have contributed to Orange Crush, the Journal of Art and Wrestling. and they just put out a new issue with John Moxley on the cover, and it's got writing from Emily Pratt, DJ Accident Report, Eric Shorey, Joey Janela, Rachel Millman, all former members of the wrestling club. So check that out, and check out those past episodes if you haven't heard them. They're all great. Rachel Millman, responsible for one of the eliminated members of the worst Royal Rumble, Alessandro Mazzolini, who I found out had a whole Japanese city pop career.
Our first fascist entrant in the worst Royal Rumble, but not our last.
Yes. And, you know, we might still have some more. Next week.
You never know. Great. So look forward to the return of fascism next week. The wrestling club.
You enjoyed this week off? Well, we're back. We are back. Yeah. And we, you know, I won't tip the hat too much, but we've got a lot of celebrity guests joining us. So look forward to that. That'll be a fun one. So yeah. Thank you so much, LaToya, for being a guest on Wrestling Club. We'd love to have you back. And talk some more.
This was great. This was fun. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Darren, take us out.
All right. For Brett and LaToya, this is Darren. Thanks for joining Wrestling Club. We'll be back next week. Bye.